So, you've started a YouTube channel in 2026, and I bet you know this feeling. You're pouring your heart into creating, you're hitting that upload button, but the views, they're just not showing up. It is so frustrating. Well, today we're going to fix that. This is your roadmap, your step-by-step guide to actually growing your channel, and we're starting right now.
Yeah, this is the question, isn't it? It's the one that keeps you up at night. You see all these other channels taking off, you know your ideas are good, but that subscriber count is barely moving. It really feels like you're just shouting into an empty room. Well, that feeling ends today.
Okay, so here's the game plan. First, we're going to talk about the big 2026 YouTube challenge, why the old advice just doesn't cut it anymore. Then, we'll get into how to niche down by solving problems. After that, we are decoding the algorithm's trinity, the only three signals that truly matter. And to wrap it all up, we'll build you a practical 90-day growth plan to put all this into motion.
Let's just dive right in with a hard truth, okay? The YouTube world of 2026 is a completely different beast. If you're following a strategy from, say, 5 years ago, you're playing by a rulebook that's been totally thrown out.
You know, it wasn't that long ago that you could get away with posting a travel vlog on Monday, a tech review on Wednesday, and some finance tips on Friday. But that era, it's over. The 2026 algorithm is all about laser focus. It rewards channels that have one clear identity for one specific audience. It has to know exactly who your videos are for, so it can find more people just like them. Random content just gets lost in the noise now.
Okay, so we know focus is the key. But how do you actually find your focus? Well, this is where we make a huge mental shift. We're going to stop just making content and start serving an audience. Your compass for growth isn't about what you want to create. It's about what a specific group of people truly needs.
This brings us to a really crucial idea, the audience pain point. I love thinking about it with the Hindi word dard, which means this deep ache or pain. That's the very reason someone opens up YouTube. They have a question, a frustration, a problem they need to solve. Your job is no longer to just make a video. Your job is to be the solution to that pain.
So how do you actually find this pain? Well, you've got to become a bit of a detective. You have to get inside your ideal viewer's head. So, for example, if your niche is Facebook growth, what are they really struggling with? What questions are they Googling at 2 a.m.? What exact phrases are they typing into that YouTube search bar? When you can answer these questions, you stop making random videos and you start creating essential solutions.
All right, so once you're making content that solves a real problem, you need to learn how to signal that value to the YouTube algorithm. Here's the good news. In 2026, the algorithm doesn't care if your channel is brand new or 10 years old. It only cares about 3 key signals. Let's break them down.
Seriously, for just a minute, forget everything else you've heard. If you can master these 3 metrics, the algorithm will have no choice but to notice you and start pushing your content. This is the language it understands.
Number 1, click-through rate or CTR. It's super simple. When YouTube shows your video's thumbnail to 100 people, how many of them actually click on it? This is your first impression, and it's all about your thumbnail and your title.
Number 2, audience retention. Okay, they clicked. That's great. But are they sticking around to actually watch the video? A high retention rate tells YouTube, hey, this video delivered on its promise.
And finally, number 3, engagement. We're talking likes, comments, shares, all the good stuff. Engagement tells the algorithm that your video didn't just get watched, it provoked a reaction, it created a connection, it made an impact.
So let's talk about boosting that CTR. How do you get the click? Well, it all starts with your thumbnail. It has to grab someone's attention in a split second, make it attractive, make them curious, or make it relatable to their problem. And, having a consistent style really helps because over time, people will start to recognize your videos on site.
And what about retention? Keeping them watching. Listen, you have about 10 to 15 seconds to prove your video is worth their time. That's it. That's your hook. So forget those long, fancy intro sequences. Get straight to the point. Tell them the value they're about to get, and then deliver on that promise as quickly as possible. That's how you build trust.
Okay, that's the theory. We know we need a niche, and we know the 3 signals to focus on. Now, let's get practical. Let's turn all this knowledge into a concrete, actionable plan you can start using for the next 90 days.
First things first, we need to talk about consistency, because I think a lot of new creators get this wrong. It is not about uploading a video every single day. That's just the recipe for burnout. Real consistency is about finding a realistic schedule that you can actually stick to for the long haul, without quality dropping off a cliff.
In 2026, a winning strategy really uses two different types of content. I want you to think of it like a tree. Your long-form videos, those are the trunk and the roots. They build your authority, your stability, and eventually your revenue. But your shorts, those are the leaves. They create massive reach and bring new eyeballs, new potential subscribers to your channel. The only rule? They have to be part of the same tree, the same niche.
And here's just one example of what that could look like in a real week. Maybe you can handle 2 long-form videos, one on Monday, one on Friday. Awesome. Then you can fill in the other days with a few shorts, maybe a community post to keep your audience engaged. The exact schedule here doesn't matter nearly as much as your ability to stick with it. Find what works for you.
And whatever schedule you choose, you have one job, and it's a big one. Stick with it for 90 days. No excuses. That's the commitment. It takes time for the algorithm to recognize your pattern, to learn who your audience is, and to start rewarding your consistency. You have to give it at least 3 months to do its thing.
So if you take away nothing else from this, remember this 4-part formula. This is it, the whole shebang. Number 1, find your niche and solve a problem. Number 2, be consistent with a schedule you can actually keep. Number 3, always focus on improvement. And number 4, probably the hardest one, patience.
Look, I know you have the passion. That's why you started. But the secret ingredient that most people miss is patience. You can't expect to go viral after 15 videos. It just doesn't work that way anymore. Commit to this process, to this formula, for at least 6 months. And don't focus on the results. Focus on getting just a little bit better with every single video you make. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And that's it. We've laid it all out. The strategy is clear, the formula is simple. So it all comes down to one final powerful question, the one that really starts this whole journey. So forget about views and subscribers for just a second and ask yourself this. What problem, what specific pain will your channel solve? Find that answer and you found your path.